All right, so the president of Minneapolis City Council here in Minneapolis, where George Floyd was killed by the Minneapolis Police Department, Lisa Bender is her name. She released a statement about a week ago, and it was very cryptic. It didn't really have like a, solid message, and it was kind of like shade, like if you were talking to, like when you're at the family table and you're like, somebody says something to you, like maybe Jeff says something to you, and then you're like, hey, Todd, could you tell Jeff that I'm not speaking to him right now? Like, that's basically what she did. And she was throwing shade at the mayor, a white man, Jacob Fry. Lisa Bender is a white woman. These are white folks fighting. I'm sorry. White folks fighting. Take two. But Lisa Bender said something to the extent she said, look, hey, the time for the mayor to open up George Floyd Square has passed. Now, after George Floyd was murdered by the police, the city put cement barriers at the north, south, east, and west corridors of 38th and Chicago, blocking off traffic and making sure that, I think the statement was to keep it safe. But since then, the people have said, no, you're not moving these barriers. We're going to keep the space. So it is a over 8-month ongoing protest. For me personally, I go in and out of the square all the time, work with a lot of folks there, spend a lot of time there, done a lot of filming there, filming narratives there. And yeah, I mean, that's what the square is. I mean, it's a place for community. It's a place for Black liberation. It's a place for Black community. It's a place for Black folks to speak to one another and come together. And that's what it's been for me. And it's been one of the most cathartic, healing, educational spaces that I've been in throughout my lifetime. And although it may not have felt it sometimes, I'm sure some people will say, well, I didn't really feel like it was for Black folks at certain times or whatever at the square. The evolution of the square has definitely found its way to an always elevating community. I believe that everybody there is always doing their best to just keep elevating the community and pushing it forward. There's been times that the cops have come in and started stuff, but all that being said, it's been a place of catharsis, healing, and Black empowerment for me personally. However, getting back to Lisa, she said the mayor's time to open up the square has passed, and now city council can take their legislative powers to open it up and address the square. I don't know what this is. I don't know what the end goal of it was, but the issue is, for me, is that Lisa's speaking to the square. She's speaking to it being shut down, but nothing's being addressed on the why. Why is the square shut down? Why are Black folks gathering in the square? Why are people gathering in the square, to have meetings, day and night? Why are people starting the protests in the square and then heading out to the 5th precinct or whatever they want to go? Why is that happening there? Because the elected officials and the law enforcement have not provided equity, dignity, or compassion for the people that pay them. Therefore, we're going to work that out ourselves. So Lisa inserting herself, in a sense, is white centering. It's saying, well, let's bring it back to me and I'll figure this out. No. It's not about you. And Lisa's on her way out. And that's a whole nother video. But to get to this odd statement, it's now begging the question, it's not a matter of will the square open or not. It'll open. It'll open at some point in time. How will it open is the question. And I think when you have these elected officials chiming in, saying, well, it's going to open up on our legislative power, and I'm not going to sign anything that the mayor sends out because it's something I didn't think of. So you have to look at the egos that are at play with this of the elected officials, and then also, the thing I always come back to, somebody asked me a question a long time ago, and I guess this is the core of this video, is they said, what do you think should happen? You think we should open up the square or not? And I said, whatever is going to be best for Black people in the square. that's what I'm for. Whatever is going to benefit black people the most, I'm here for it. And if we all sit down and we say, yeah, let's open up the square. Okay, cool. If we all sit down and say, no, I don't want to open up the square until the trial's over. Okay, cool. Because the idea, when you get into a game of elected officials, it's almost as if they separate themselves from their own community. And now they're in this seat where they're getting paid to make decisions for the city. It's literally what's happening. But what's happened is they're tone deaf and they remove themselves from their people. And now you have, a white dude named Jacob sitting in a palatial brownstone that has folks that ain't got houses showing up to his front door saying, hey, where are the houses at that you promised us? You got a white woman named Lisa over in a nice part of Uptown having people show up to her doorstep saying, hey, why are you giving these cops $80,000 a year and they're killing our people? Like that's what's happening. That's the space. That's the disparity right there. You got to address that. Like you got to call that to the carpet. So her cryptic message is strange, and it also addresses how the square will open up. But whatever happens, my hope and my work going forward is going to ensure that the people will have the say in how it goes. And that's not really for me to, say how that goes. That's for me to be of value to community and then support whatever decisions are made for that. So that's me, I guess, interpreting or translating Lisa's cryptic message. If anybody wants to throw any clarifications below, like, hey, you totally got it. You totally whiffed on it, bro. Like she meant this. Go ahead. This is a conversation, man. So yeah, but going forward, my work and my I was gonna say allegiance, but my support, my body, my energy, time, and spirit goes to black folks, and part of that is the square and the folks there. So that's what I stand for, and I stand for black liberation, and I definitely stand for black power, black empowerment, and black community, and community power for sure. Which again, it's a cheesy statement, community power, but I love it. I'm gonna get a T-shirt that just says community power, and just walk around. But yeah, that's my interpretation of her message. It's odd. When I first read it, I was like, this don't make no damn sense. But I think it's important to take a look at. So if you look up Lisa Bender's Twitter, you can take a look at that and maybe respond to her. Maybe she'll respond, maybe not. Who knows? But that's that. Thanks so much for watching this video and listening. We'll see you in the next one.